Bill Plaschke, Lindsey Thiry, and Helfand, AT&T Stadium, where USC just got thumped by Alabama 52-6, their worst season opening loss in program history. Bill, we're not surprised they lost. We're surprised they lost that bad, though.
I'm just stunned that they weren't ready. How do you not be ready? This is the biggest opening game in many years, a celebrated game, a new chapter, a new era. And you act like you're still on probation. You acted like they didn't want to be here. They didn't even show up. How does that happen? How does that, all offseason, all the everybody's talking about Alabama, how does that happen?
It happens because you have a first-year coach, a first-time play caller, a first-year starting quarterback. But Zach, you've been at training camp. Has this team looked this poor during all those practices?
There was a practice, I think it was on Wednesday, where they were just sloppy. There were guys chanting things on the sidelines and people throwing balls up in the air. And that was the one time I said, I don't know if they're taking this game seriously enough. And I guess it showed today.
Bill, Lane Kiffin came into this because, what do you know, he wanted some revenge. That tarmac firing out at LAX, you think this was some revenge? He wasn't stopping with the scoring. 4th and goal, he's going for it.
Unbelievable. In the fourth quarter, 4th and goal, he runs it in. And then on the next possession, they had a long, like a down a distance, long distance, went for a long pass, touchdown pass. Lane Kiffin definitely rubbed it in, definitely got revenge. He was behind his clipboard, behind his playbook, and behind his in his oversized windbreaker. He was laughing over them. He was joking around about this team. Yeah, Lane got his revenge tonight. Makes it even more painful for USC. It's just hard to understand. And I think this puts Clay Helton, the honeymoon for Clay Helton's over.
Zach, where does this team go from here? Because when they go home, they play Utah State, but then it's Stanford, and then it's Utah. And Clay Helton, he's 0-3 since being named the permanent coach.
Well, I think the one encouraging thing for them is that the defensive line didn't look as bad as everyone thought it was going to be. I think in the second half.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very small encouragement. In the second half, I think they kind of rolled over. But the not encouraging thing is that the offensive line did not look nearly as good as a lot of people expected. And against physical teams like Stanford and Utah, they've got to clean that up or else it's going to be ugly. It could be 1-3, if not, assuming that they could beat Utah State right now.
Yeah, I can understand. How do they get the safety splits and leave guy wide open for a 71-yard touchdown? Iman Marshall knocks a guy out of bounds, quits on the play. That guy scores a touchdown. They break off a 71-yard run. It's like it was just huge. It weren't just little scores. It wasn't like a slow roll. It was like a tidal wave. And it's like USC wasn't prepared for it. And then how about timeouts? This is my worst.
3 timeouts in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, they used all their timeouts. They had all summer to talk about this, and they have 3 timeouts in the first quarter. I just don't get it.
There's just so much to talk about. 6 plays for Alabama of 20 yards or more, 6 of them, and a lot of them were 40 yards, 50 yards, a couple 70-yarders. So it wasn't that they were just Alabama had more talent, which they did. It was mistakes. It's just they didn't look prepared for this game.
USC's downturn started in 2012, if not before that, because of the sanctions. Bill, now we hear our 5 seasons later. Where does this program even begin to go now?
Well, I don't know. This is a step back. They got to reassess everything after this. See how everything's going this season. People are going to be crying, screaming at Clay Helton now. And I think he needs more of a chance. He's only had 3 games as a permanent head coach, but they have a huge step backward. They're this far. They're 6 touchdowns, more than 6 touchdowns worse than Alabama, who's not, to my mind, a national championship team. They're great, but I think they were better last year, and yet they just had to show up, and USC didn't show up. They got to go back to square one.
USC's been looking forward to this game for the last 2 seasons. Players admit they're not quite sure what to look forward to now, but they do say it's time to turn the page.
One good thing about today is Lindsey's birthday. Happy birthday, Lindsey.
Thanks. It started with an earthquake and it ended with a floozy of a football game. All right, with Bill Plaschke and Helfand, I'm Lindsey Thiry. We're out of here.